What is up, guys? Fado82 coming at you with a weekly Rust update video. This week in Rust, you're going to notice that the pipe shotgun has received a bit of a nerf, but it's not the item itself. It will still do the same amount of damage and be a widely used item, but it's rather to the way that the item deploys when you take it out. So when you cycle between pipe shotguns, it's going to happen a few seconds slower, and this is done to combat people who would load up their inventories with prime pipe shotguns and just go out and roll people over. So if that was part of your PvP style, it kind of was for mine, guys. So it's going to sting a bit, but to help with that sting, we saw some further progression on some artwork for the double-barreled pipe shotgun, which will hopefully be the equivalent of a pipe shotty that holds 2 rounds and can be fired either at the same time or individually. We also saw some more progression on a mortar that we now see modeled in the 3D space. You can go ahead and take a look at that more in depth in the dev blog. You can rotate it, zoom in on it more in depth and see every fine detail. So that might be something that might make its way into the game soon. That would be an early to mid-game rating tool most likely. We saw the heavy armor come into reality as well, as that's being 3D modeled here, and this is a work in progress, guys, so it'll probably look different as it progresses. Let me know what you guys think below about the concept of the heavy armor. I really like the notion that it could provide certain roles in raiding or play styles where it moves slower but is more of a tank, and I like the way that the armor looks, but I hope it looks less medieval and more rusty with more of a sheet metal tone to it rather than that shiny metal. We also saw some progression for the throwable items. A few more weapons are now throwable with a new aiming system. This basically is holding and aiming the items so you have a better placement of your shots, and that will be implemented once all the items are at that stage. Player movements receive some definite love this week in Rust. You're going to notice that the joints move more naturally. They look less like a rubber band as they did before. I want to be aware this week in Rust there's been some more changes to the decay system. Most notably, deployable items, many different deployable items will now decay over time. This is going to include storage boxes, and if you open containers, they will reset. It will reset the decay timer. Doors also now have a change in that they will reset the decay timer on building blocks that belong to the same building ID that door was placed on. Now that's something the building ID system was introduced last week, and it's laying a groundwork for further progression on the building system, but be aware of that change to doors because it might be something that could affect you. This week in Rust, you will be having a grand time if you go ahead and log on to the pre-release branch, because Helk has fixed the problems over there. Initially, there was a command line you needed to implement and put into your Steam properties to get it to work out some bugs to stop you from disconnecting, but it's been fixed and you can go on there now and stay on and hopefully have a good time, test it out and see where it's at. I will certainly be on there quite a bit. Alex has done a lot of work on the system for sound effects and music that's going to be playing in the game, and atmospheric music that will be triggered by certain biomes, events, things that occur, and that's something that I really can't wait. I've always loved the music all the way from Legacy all the way through the current Rust. In fact, you're listening to music, check out the SoundCloud page below. Fado82, peace.